you was living dangerous last week.
I recorded it, but this line right here, I was like, I noticed it halfway through the podcast. I was like, damn, it's gonna suck editing that shit. It wasn't that bad though. All right. We are back with another episode, and to my left, I have the one and only.
Talk life in the building.
Of course, man. It's been a long week. How was your week actually? What'd you do?
Man, was my week long? My week was slow. This was a slow week. I had
Mm-hmm.
a lot of office days this week.
Mm-hmm.
It's been hot.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just, the roller coaster of freelance.
Man, I haven't. Have I taken a freelance project lately? No, I actually haven't. I think I'm only booked. Well, dang, I got booked for music video this
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
Um, we'll see.
It's,
You know,
it's an interesting time right now because there's
yeah.
a guy that I work with. They throw this event every year,
Mm-hmm.
and it's coming. They got an event that's coming up next month, and I hadn't heard from him. We had talked in April, and I hadn't heard from him, so I hit him up. I'm like, yeah, just touching base. It was a pleasure working with y'all last year, yada yada. And he was like, hey man, like the only reason I haven't hit you up is because I don't know that we can afford you this year. Because it's a nonprofit, and the event they get sponsors and things. And I'm like, bro, I get it. Like that's across the board right now. Like everybody's budgets is down,
Yeah.
and this is why I emphasize to people, you gotta be flexible.
Yeah.
So I hit him back and I'm like, hey, let me know realistically what your budget is,
Mm-hmm.
and let's figure out what we can do.
Yeah.
Because usually, like you can work with people's budget.
Yeah.
You just got to be like, okay, based off of that budget, this is what I can do. And a lot of times that be enough because
Yeah.
sometimes people will be like, oh, we got this event for 4 hours. Can you come film for 4 hours? And that's what they ask for.
Mm-hmm.
Then you give them the price, and it's too much. And it's
Yep.
like, okay, well, let's step back. What do you want to use this content for? And when you get that information, you realize it's like, trust me, I don't need to be there for 4 hours. Like, there's not going to be anything going on
Yep.
for those 4 hours to where you need me there. Like, I can come for an hour and I can still get you what it is you need.
Yep.
So that's like why it's important, especially now
Yeah.
as freelance, to be flexible and just be like, okay, you can go lower on your price as long as you go lower on your deliverables. That's what I preach to everybody. Like, it's not I'm going lower on my price and I'm still giving you the same thing. Like, I'm not giving you a $2,000 service for $500.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a $500 service for $500, but I can optimize it to where you still can do what you need to do with that content. But I feel like there's a lot of people in our industry that's just like, this is my rate,
Yeah, that's my
and
rate.
I'm not negotiating because my price is my price and this is what I'm worth. And it's like,
Yeah.
well, in today's time, you ain't gonna have no work.
Yeah. That's really how it is. Fortunately, I don't have to really freelance as much anymore. But at the same time, when I do get certain gigs, I will say on the other side of that, where it's like I've been running to clients where like they want that full package, but then they're like, oh yeah, but my budget is this,
Right.
and it's like I'm like, okay, we can't go up a little bit. Like for example, we need you for 12 hours. My budget is $600.
Yeah.
I don't think it plus editing, and I'm like, I don't think like, can we get at least 1,000?
Right.
No.
Right.
I got,
Even with no editing, that's
Yeah.
$50 an hour, which is I know people would
Yes.
hear that and think that $50 an hour is a lot because what job would you have, $50 an hour? But we have overhead.
Yes.
That's the thing, So even if we wanted to, like we got overhead. Like gas is expensive right
Gas.
now. It's like we have gear that will go out that we will have to replace. So like that's built into
And
our
that's
pricing.
the thing too. 12 hours and you want multicam,
Right.
you want
Right.
audio, not time code, and it's like either things I have to go buy, rent, whatever. That's not enough for me to work with. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Just
Right.
in general.
And again, that's just shooting.
Yes.
So for somebody to want 12 hours plus edit
Yeah.
for 600, like that's almost insulting
That
to
is.
even ask somebody to
is.
do that much work for only $600.
And I'm flexible, man. Even 1,000, I was trying to swing it in there. Like that was for me was still like, I don't
Right.
know, but
Right.
I can do it for that price, and
Right.
I'll eat the rest, But I think it just comes down to it. Like even the other thing that happened this week, I posted something about I need some people to work for free. I know it sounds crazy. People are probably like, you just
Yeah.
say you're not going to do it for 600, but you want people to do it
Right.
for free.
Right.
But
Let's talk about that.
yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about
So
that.
I posted earlier this week that, I was basically producing an event and I needed some camera ops, you know what I'm saying? About one or two people, unpaid, you know. And I knew when I posted it, I have a lot of young guys, guys who are just getting out of high school, guys who are just picking up a camera, even who are outside of high school. Like, they've been hitting me up, they've been in the DMs like, hey, how can I get to this point with videography or photography? Like, and really, whether you're doing video, photo, whatever, your connections will put you in places that you would never thought you would do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never thought I would do a MMA event, but my connections got me there. You know what I'm saying? Or even producing it, stepping away from the actual camera side and worried about lights, audio, whatever. So I was trying to extend the invitation to the guys who are looking for something, and everybody came back with like, oh, well, it's not paying me, and that kind of threw me off a little bit because I'm like, I took so much free work when I first
Right.
started.
Right.
I mean, free, and I'm just excited because the love and the passion for everything
Right.
is why I got into it. So it's like, one, you're not passionate. Two, and I understand right now the economy's high, bills are high. But if I'm telling you also, yeah, I'm not sure about this event, but there will be more events on the calendar, and I'll make sure if you're rocking with me, we're gonna take care of you. But we gotta we gotta see what you can do first, and after that, cool.
So to put it into context, because I'm familiar with
Yeah.
the stuff. So to put it into context, the gym and this whole thing that you're doing, like you just built this.
Yes.
So it's a new thing.
Yeah, like
so it's not like it's a
No.
well established, been around for 15, 20 years. Like the whole thing is a new.
Yes. So the gym literally just got put together, all the lights and cameras and stuff. I've helped set up with me and my other guy. Like, we've been putting lots of hours into that gym. This was only the second fight. I missed the first one because I had to go out of town. This is like the second fight total.
Yeah.
And these fights, they're sanctioned. So, everything's legal. They get points for it. It goes on their record, whatever. And, it's not UFC, but these are still professional, quote unquote, fighters. You know what I'm saying? And yeah.
Yeah. So that's the it's an interesting thing because like you said, like we'll sit here and be like, well, I'm not doing this job, 600 for 12 hours. Like that's crazy. So it's hard to explain sometimes because it seems like it's well, y'all sit there and say y'all won't do it for this lower price, but then y'all want people to do it for free. Now, the thing about that is like there's always going to be jobs that somebody will need somebody to do something for free.
Yeah.
Now, if that job is done the right way, nobody is really making a ton of money.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's really the distinguishing thing. Like if somebody were to ask me to do something for free, but they're making $10,000.
Yeah.
That's exploitation, right? They're trying to get my labor for free. But if somebody's asking for something for free and as a whole, they're not really, and you can't look at just how much money they're making. You got to look at net profit. That's the most important thing. Cause like somebody can be like, well, y'all made $10,000. It's like, yeah, but we had $9,500 in expenses. So we only netted 500. If nobody's really making money, those are the ones that you can do for free to get the experience and the networking. And that's a part of the industry. Like you don't come into this starting out and getting paid what you feel you should get paid. That's not the way it works.
Agreed. And like the event last night, it sold out. It was packed. It was, packed out, probably about 300 people up in there, and obviously people, we charge tickets to get in the door. But then because it's sanctioned, there's so many other fees that go into it.
Right.
You have to have ambulance on standby.
You're right.
You got to pay the city for that.
Right.
You got to have the referees, official referees, and it's like 4 or 5 of them.
Yep.
You got to, even if they don't even do one fight, they have to get paid. It's so many different
Probably
things.
got official record keepers and things that you have to pay for, all that type of stuff.
The person who rings the bell is an official bell ringer.
Yep.
Seriously, like it's crazy. Like how much money, and they charge a lot of money. So it may be, however much per person at the door.
Yep.
But like you said, the gross profit and your net profit are two different things.
Right. And you have to, The thing is, like, you have to get experience.
Yeah.
To get to, look, when you look at anybody that's charging like a high amount for something,
Yep.
the reason that they're able to charge that is because of experience.
Uh-huh.
The more experience you have, the more you can charge. And it has nothing to do with how good you are with the camera. This is what I say all the time. It has nothing to do with how good you are with the camera. It has everything to do with problem solving.
Yes.
That's really what you pay for, right? If you needed a plumber, the most expensive plumbers are the ones that can come and diagnose the problem quickly and fix it quickly. That's what you're paying for. You're not paying for them replacing a pipe. Any plumber can replace a pipe, but if that plumber, it took them 8 hours to find the problem, or they busted through all your walls to find the problem and you got to pay for that, that's the reason why they charge the higher prices, because the ones that are experienced, they're able to say, okay, where is it leak? Yeah, I'm sure it's probably this. They go right to that point, 5 minutes, they've diagnosed it, they're out of there in an hour.
Yep.
It's the same thing in our industry. Like, you're not paying for somebody just like manning a camera. Anybody can do that. It's the stuff that goes wrong, and things will go wrong. That's what you're paying for when the price is higher.
Agreed. And I think, like, to add to that, the funny part is like the networking side,
For
where
sure.
I feel like a lot of those guys missed out on, is that even me to this day, I can say I charge whatever price, but when certain people call me, whether it's you, whether it's people I've done shoots with in the past, when I was a kid, they still shooting. They call me all the time.
Yep.
I'm there regardless. The last thing I'm worried about is a number.
Right.
If I'm able to physically be there, if I'm not out of state or anything, I'm going to show up.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's more so about the time opposed to the money.
Right.
But I feel like that's weird to me that people don't look at it like, okay, this is an individual with the network.
Right.
I'm totally part of the network, and whatever comes from that can come.
Right.
That's how I approach so many different things and built my network in my little circle of people where it's
For
like,
sure. And that's what it is.
Yeah.
You know, like, networking is relationship.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think that's the misconception that a lot of people have, even with networking, is they think, okay, if I go to this event and I network, it's going to yield. If it doesn't yield me something that day, that night, then it was a waste of my time. And that's not the way networking works. It's you're building a relationship. So, you know, we go to a networking event, we meet each other, we exchange information, we build a relationship, and then things can blossom from that. That's the way that it works. You know, rarely do you network and you immediately, like, sometimes you do. But it really has to do with trust. Like, I have to know that I can trust you. Because imagine I have a client that wants me to do something and I can't make it.
Yeah.
So I got to have somebody else fill in for me. I have to know that I can trust you. Because if you mess up, it doesn't look bad on you. Nobody cares about you because they don't know you. Like, I have the relationship with that client. So I have to feel comfortable knowing that if I send you to this job and I'm not going to be there, you're going to do as good of a job as I would do.
Yep.
And you don't get to that point without building that relationship.
Exactly. I think people are also very, like, competitive with within their own network. Like, let's say if you were to pull up to that event last night and somebody saw you man the cameras, all you do is professionally, like, I want to hire you for this and my budget is $20,000. I'll be like, bro, good job. You know what I'm saying? Like, go do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't care.
So I wouldn't even do that though.
No, but see, the thing is, like,
because I you know, it's like when I do that, I'm an extension of you.
Well, nah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's and things might be different now.
Yeah.
Things might be different now, but that was like how I came into the game, where it's like, if I'm, you know, if you bring me on, even if I'm getting paid, I still look at it as I'm working for you. And that's where I do think, especially younger people, they're too prideful to want to do that. But me, it's like, nah, if you brought me on, I will never market myself. Like, I will be like, oh, you got to run through Z. Like, this is his whole thing. And then they can come to you and then you can be like, oh, yeah, nah, if you want to work with him, like, that's cool. Like, you got to be the one to say that. Man, they going crazy up there today.
Jesus. Oh, man.
Calm down now.
Man,
but you know, that's just me. I'm not necessarily saying it's wrong, but it's like sometimes people overstep that boundary. Like, you know, if it's an organic thing, that's cool, but like, don't be on my shit.
Well, yeah,
like heavily marketing yourself.
So, I've been with people like that too, where it's just like they overly promote themselves to the client, and it's like sometimes the client doesn't even ask you,
right?
Like, you know what I mean? But I've had guys come on and stuff has stemmed from it, and I'm like, bro, go ahead, take it.
Right, do your
Especially
thing.
Like when I go to LA, my boy that I usually film with, I have other connections out there where they're like, yo, can you come back to LA? I'm like, nah, I can't. But the boy who's just here
Right.
with me, he lives
Right.
out, he's local.
Right.
So if you want something similar, here's his information. Like,
Right.
I'm always trying to just spread love, bro. Cause
And that's how it should be, you know.
you know,
But I'm not naive to think that sounds good when we're sitting in these chairs talking on a mic. It is different when, you know, you're scraping to get by.
well, yes,
And, you know, you're thinking, I brought you on. Now you just got this job that really could have or should have been my job. So I get where that could be tough because you're just like, well, nah, like you wouldn't even have known them if it wasn't for me. Now you're getting work outside of me. So I get it.
but I think I would say the ego comes into play where it's like, if that's really my client,
Facts. Facts.
they wouldn't even
Facts.
do that because
I
the fact
agree.
that they're just gonna come to me directly anyway.
I agree.
Now, if they like your work ethic and they like something about you as a person, like they might be like, "Oh yeah, bring him on next time." You know,
I
here.
agree.
But my clients, I haven't really had to deal with. I'm like maybe like if it's like a bigger event and there's multiple like vendors or clients and stuff like that, then I mean, of course, it's free game. Like
Right.
I don't know the people neither, like you know. But my clients, I'm pretty confident that they will continue just to book with me
Yeah.
if I'm available.
Well, and here's why that's important. Because if you have a client that isn't loyal to you, those are the worst clients to have. And the reason why I say that is because they will drop you in a heartbeat if they get somebody to do it for cheaper.
Yeah.
So I always would look at it and say, if I bring somebody on and my client gives them work and doesn't come through me, that was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
Because it was only a matter of time. Like if
Oh, yeah,
that loyalty's not there, because there's always going to be somebody that's cheaper.
Yeah.
So if it's like, oh, well, you went with him and didn't run through me, and I'm here because you brought me in, so you know that they're with me, then I'd be like, cool, have fun, because you're going to get 1 or 2 jobs from them, and then they're going to go to the next person because they're cheaper.
Yeah, I feel the same way. But I don't know, like all my video friends, man, like I'm quick to be like, oh, you put me onto a gig? Okay, bro. The client said they got 500. You want me to send you what? You want 100 off top? Just cause, you know.
Right.
I'm also like that. That's a person too, and I have friends who I'm like, hey, bro, like there's a gig in LA. I don't want no money from it. You can just take it. I'll plug you right now. I can't go out there.
Right.
And then I have a friend, like mostly it works because he don't like to edit. So then we'll just tackle it. Where if the client wants to edit.
Yeah.
All right, bro, you go shoot it.
Yeah.
You take. I undercut myself. I'll take 20%. You take 80%. You went out there physically doing it. I'll get to it when I can on the cutting side.
Right.
You know what
I'll
I'm
be
saying?
like, just shoot that in a way to make it easy for me.
Yeah. Yeah, for real.
That's all I ask. Just make the edit for me
and
easy, man. Like don't screw me over now.
No, he typically does. He'll even organize the files and go through it and write notes of what he shot, why he shot it like that.
Yeah.
And tell me what they want. And I mean, it works, but I think people are just now, like you said earlier, when you're scraping by, you have to constantly feed the beast, and you have to constantly just put yourself out there and take off heads. And it's like, it's kind of like sad to see, but I get it. It's hustle, it's grit, but at the same time, like the networking and like the community aspect of the community is kind of gone right now.
Yeah. I mean, our industry's in an interesting place, and I think about this all the time because I still do freelance. So I always think about like, where is our industry at and where is it going? You know, do I think our industry is dying? You know, especially just with AI, and then you add in the economy. You know, it makes it really hard to do what we do and charge what we charge.
Yep.
And this is where I think it's very important as business owners to understand the climate that we're in and pivot when you have to pivot. Now, at the start of the year, I redid my whole pricing structure because I used to have it to where, you know, I always had a way to calculate, you know, so every job that I do, I calculate the job based off of that job. I don't really have just like set prices because especially in video, like things are way too different to have just like a set cost. I changed it to where now I have tiers.
Yep.
Because not every job is the same. Like, for example, like your job, if somebody hired me just to come and be a camera op and just record and dump footage, That's completely different than me showing up to a set and I basically have to be running everything. So I'm going to charge more on the set that I'm having to run everything because I have more responsibility and there's a lot more risk on my end. You know what I'm saying? Like they're relying on me to produce something that they can use. Whereas if I'm just showing up and I'm just filming what's happening, there's little risk on my end. So I charge less for that because it doesn't make sense to be like, oh, well, yeah, I mean, I'm going to charge you $300 an hour just to come be a camera op. Nobody's going to want to do that because it's like, I just need you to man this camera and just give me the footage.
And it's also depends too, like camera opping for a reality show. Okay, I'm going to make sure everybody gets paid.
Right.
You know, like if the budget is there.
Right.
Now, camera opping for 2-3 hours for something that can lead to something else.
Right.
I would personally do it.
Yeah, I mean, last year I shot Las Vegas Swim Week just as a camera op. There was a guy that got hired by them and he brought me on. I think I got paid $50 an hour.
Okay.
Which is significantly under my normal hourly rate. But it was his camera. It was, I think, 3 hours. And I just had to film.
Yeah.
That's it. I literally showed up, filmed on his camera, and I went home. Why would I not do that for a quick 150?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it wouldn't make sense to be like, nah, like my rate is 150 an hour. I'm not doing it for anything less. It doesn't make sense. I have no responsibilities. I'm doing what I love to do anyway. I'm not having to use my own gear. I'm not having to edit. I don't have to worry about it when I get back in my car and go home. So yeah, it's like if I don't have anything else on my calendar anyway, yeah, I'm going to do it for the 50 an hour because that's a quick 150 that I wouldn't have otherwise had. You know what I'm saying? So it's like in today's climate, those are the things that you have to do. Like you can't be too prideful or bullheaded to be like, well, no, my hourly rate for cam op is 150. So for some jobs that makes sense. You know, again, like if I have a lot of responsibility, it's like I need to get paid for the responsibility you're giving me. But that, I'm on a tripod. I'm in one spot. People are walking in the same thing, so I'm doing the same thing the entire time.
And that's why I went.
I'm cool with that.
I went corporate for the sole purpose of I just want to be able to go to bed at the same time. I want to build out a schedule. Freelancing, I'm always on the grind.
Absolutely.
I'm always on the hustle. Corporate, I don't even go in every day if I don't have to, you know. But at the same time, it just I do what I gotta do on calendar. We're filming this. We're doing headshots this day. Cool. Once I get in my car, I'm done. Every 2 weeks, money deposited. Some weeks are busier. Some weeks are nothing. Literally nothing. And it's like, okay, well, cool. Like,
I mean, you know, the corporate route it's enticing right now. But I think, you know, if you're going to stay in our space, I think the most important thing is we all have to pivot to how we can use our content to help people make money. Because it's too easy to create content that looks good. You know, there was a point in time where we really had a monopoly on that. And honestly, I feel like that was before either one of us really got into the industry, where we had a monopoly because the barrier of entry was a lot higher. So to be able to produce the type of content that you can produce now, like you had to have a lot of expensive equipment, you had to have a lot of knowledge. So it was really funneled to our industry, where it's like now you can use your iPhone and that's accepted, right? Like most people that are looking at stuff on Instagram doesn't care if it was shot on an iPhone or it was shot on an Ari. It doesn't really matter to them. Like if it is appealing, they don't care what it was shot on. So now we don't have that advantage of, well, we can produce this high quality content. Well, that doesn't matter. I've saw videos go viral that were clearly shot on an iPhone or an Android and the quality wasn't even great and it still went viral. So I don't need to pay you to create this content when I could use my phone. So we all really have to pivot to not, we can create this good looking content. It really has to be, I can help you make money. Because if you can get to where you can create content in a way that helps people have revenue, then it's a much easier sell. You know, if I can cold call somebody and be like, hey, you know, boom, I can do this for you to be $500. How many new clients would you have to get to be able to recoup that $500? 2 clients. Okay, so if we strategically create this content to where I can get you 4 clients or 5, now you're paying me and you're making money. Like this is helping you make money. it's an easier sell. So unfortunately, we have to go from being creators to being marketing and strategy people. And that's really, if you don't make that pivot, I do think just the industry of creating content is dying quickly.
I have a hot take. If you are doing, I'm looking at the camera, I say this, hot take. If you are doing only freelance videography and photography, you should stop. I feel like there's more to just being the guy with the camera these days.
Yeah.
Who is a hot take? I feel like there's more to being the guy with the camera. I feel like looking to getting into either broadcast, AV, production, directing. If you want to be a DP, go be a cinematographer / DP. Like, you know, and really like hone in on that. Find sets, go do that. But to be the guy showing up to people's basketball games, football games, following social media influencers around all day, it is not worth the time. If you want to get into weddings, go into weddings. But when you do your weddings, you have to be more than just got the camera. You got to be the guy with the team, be the guy with the vision to really deliver.
Well, yeah, because now even the wedding people, they're doing confessionals and doing reality show type.
My boy Justin, man.
like they've elevated the game to where now it's not even just like a highlight reel. It's like, no, you got to have a team, special. You got to have lights, you got to have audio, you got to have multiple cameras, you got to have all of the that's what people want now, and that's what they'll pay the big bucks for. Like nobody is going to pay you $10,000 just for a highlight video.
No,
you know what I'm saying? So it is a hot take, but it's true.
Yeah.
It's very true. The same way, like, if you only do photography, it's a dying breed.
It's a dying
breed. Like, most clients these days, they want both.
They do want
and both. They don't want to hire individually. They're going to hire people that can do both. So if you are solely photography, outside of weddings, you know, weddings is kind of in events, I guess. Like, I mean, if you primarily do events, there's, you know, those are the two things where there still is a heavy need for us because AI can't really do it. And they typically aren't just going to trust somebody, you know, with an iPhone. Like, nobody's going to hire somebody to shoot their wedding with an iPhone. So if you're outside of those two industries, if you just are doing photography, it's dying. Yeah. Okay. It kind of has already died, but it's gonna it's really gonna die. And if your whole thing is I just create content and that's it, I agree with you. That's also dying. That's dying. Because everybody can create good looking content now. Yes. So if that's all you got, it was kind of like when iPhone came out with their portrait mode. You know, for a long time, our industry, we were able, like, we had that bokeh on a lock because, you know, you had to have the fast lenses to be able to get that. And so people would pay for it because they love the look. iPhone comes out and now you can get the same look. Looks like trash to us, but to the average person, looks the same. Yeah. Now they're like, well, I can get this with my iPhone. So I don't need to pay you $2,000 to shoot this when I can use my iPhone. Yeah, it looks terrible. But again, I always preach to people, you can't look at how we see things because we're always going to look at things way differently than the average person. The average person doesn't care about 95% of the stuff that we're just like, that's no good, don't do that. The average person doesn't care. So if you are constantly, as a photographer or videographer, if you put your value in these things that nobody cares about, you don't have any value. There's no value because they don't care. They're never going to pay you more money for things that they don't care about.
Agreed.
So our industry is in a spot where it's like, I don't think it's going to go away. I don't think AI is going to destroy it, but it absolutely has changed it. And it's like, you have to pivot to be more valuable than just creating content. That is not enough anymore. It's absolutely not enough. If that's all you do, I'm going to agree with you. Hang it up, sell your gear, and go do something else. Because just creating content is not going to cut it anymore.
And honestly, I've thought about it. And I was, because like for me as well, I think really big into the long term. I feel like a lot of guys now who are videographers, photographers, like they're looking at the here and now. Like, do you guys have insurance? Do you have a 401k? Do you have anything that by the age of 45, 50, if you sat on and hold this camera no more?
Right.
Like, how long do you want to be on the hustle for?
Right.
You know, that's what I really thought about. And I'm like, yeah, that's why I just can't go back to that now.
Right.
It's like, I love it, but I don't know, man.
It's different times. And you know, honestly, it's sad because, you know, it's like if you're old enough to know how things used to be, you're just like, man, there was really a lot of money to be made in our industry. But then once the cost of entry and the barrier just gets lower and lower, number one, you have a more saturated market. So now you have a lot more people doing the same thing. So, proverbially your competition is higher. But then, you introduce things like AI, you introduce tough economies and things like that. It's like it just makes it that much harder.
It does. And like you said, the cost of entry, like when I got into it, it wasn't cool. I was only 21, but I'll even say, shoot, 7, 8 years ago, 2019, 2020, it wasn't as cool to be having a camera. It was still looked at like corny or like a specialty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Over these past 5 years, it's just gotten like overly saturated.
Yep.
Everybody's coming out the woodworks with cameras.
Yep.
Young guys coming out with cameras, not knowing what they're doing. I mean, that's the beauty of it. But at the same time, it's like when I was doing it, I had Premiere Pro on an old laptop. Like, like I was like Tony Stark in the dungeon, man.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So just to see the cost of entry now, I'm like, oh, y'all got that for that price?
Right.
You get all these features?
Right. And that's the thing. Being $500 get you a whole setup. And you got all these features and things. Whereas like when I was buying cams, like I remember when I bought my 5D4.
Yeah.
It was $34.99.
Yeah.
Plus tax. You know what I'm saying? It was almost $4,000.
Yeah.
Whereas like now you can get something for $500 or $600 that really can do the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's just
find you to use
Right.
GV10.
The used market is big right now. I mean, you got, DJI and Insta360 that's bringing out these things that, everybody's using to create content.
The Osmo Pockets.
Man, I ain't even gonna hold you, bro. Like I'm reluctant to use them, but it's not because I don't think that there's value in it. I just don't want to be a part of that whole crowd. That whole crowd is just, to put it in perspective, they're not influencers, but it makes me feel like the influencer crowd, where it's like I wouldn't want to do anything that felt influencer-like because I just can't stand influencers, and I know a lot of people can't. So I feel like a lot of those things, there's just so many people that it's become such a gimmick that even though would I rather use that little small camera versus bringing out my whole big setup? Yes. But I just don't want to be a part of that community.
So I'm not going to lie. I used the Osmo Pocket for real estate one time. And I low-key kind of enjoyed it because of the stability of the shots you need for that. And it's like, I'm going through somebody's house. I don't have to worry about, I felt so bad.
Yeah.
But I think it's good for, like you said, for influencers, for like personal vlogs, personal content. It still has limitations like any other camera, but I don't mind it. Now, I'm probably more just a stickler for certain specs I like to have when shooting now. And you're going to hate me when I say this, but...
Don't say open gate.
Oh, you already know I'm going to say open gate. You already know. That's why my GoPro has open gate. But I like everything open gate nowadays. I like everything in log nowadays. If I'm doing anything, it's open gate log.
Yeah.
Well, don't ask me why. I just want it.
It's funny how that goes because for a good 3 years, 2 or 3 years, like I was shooting everything log, where now I rarely shoot log. It's like I will typically only shoot log if I feel that I'm in a difficult lighting situation to where I think that would be needed. But outside of that, I almost always just shoot in a profile.
I don't want to shoot if it's not log.
Yeah, so it's funny how that goes. It's funny because I was the same at one point. Like I was shooting everything. I'd be shooting an interview where I set up the lights and I'm shooting log, knowing good daggone well. Like I'm not worried about dynamic range. I'm not worried about having to push and pull, and I still would shoot log just because I was like, hey, why not?
So my reason to shooting log, which I haven't held myself to, was that I want everything logged because if I want to go back and re-edit these files for me portfolio's sake or whatever.
How often have you done that?
Never in my life. I got a hard drive of files. I ain't getting to it no time soon.
That's why I transitioned from that thought.
But then it's also like I get better within like a year's time. When I shot in January, by the time December comes, I'm like, I could shot that whole thing a lot better.
Yeah, you're not gonna go back to that footage and re-edit it though.
No, I'm not.
You're not. That's the reality. Right. Okay, I don't care what anybody says. You're not going back to that stuff and doing anything with it. There's no point. You're not even really doing it from a portfolio perspective unless you were just in a very slow time to where you don't have anything to current add to your portfolio, you're
Just me
not
right
going
now.
back to something 12 months ago, even for your portfolio. You're just not. So that stuff always sounds good on paper where you're like, no, I want to have the ability to be able to go back and re-edit it and do this. You're never going to do it.
You're right.
You're never going to do it. But at the same time, there's nothing wrong with shooting log because it's not like when you shoot log, the files are the same. You know, my files are no different shooting log versus a profile. They're the same size. It doesn't change anything in that regard. So it's like it doesn't hurt to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just for me, I'm just like I just have found that I don't do anything to where I needed log for it.
I feel
So
that.
I would rather shoot a profile, and then that pushes me to make sure that I get everything right in camera. The same way like when you shoot JPEG over RAW. You can edit those JPEGs, but not to the same degree as RAW. So you got to really make sure you get it right in cam. So that just pushes me as somebody that creates content.
feel that.
I don't want to have the luxury of, oh, well, it's RAW. I can just change the white balance. I can shoot willy-nilly and just fix it in post. I hate editing so much. I don't want to have to fix anything in post. I want it to look pretty much straight out of cam how I would have wanted it to look. So I don't even have to worry about it.
I used to go crazy. I used to know I was only shooting raws. Shoot it log. Knowing that this client did not know anything about color grading or
Yeah.
even have the team.
Yeah.
I would then import all my log files,
Yep.
color correct it for
Right.
them,
Right.
and then send it back
Right.
out.
You're basically doing what your camera would have done for you is
Dude,
what
I
you're
used to
doing.
go crazy. I used to do that, and then it got to the point where I just was like, now I would send them uncolor graded and then color graded,
Yeah.
and then I'll send off all the files. And
Yeah.
then I was like, why am I doing double work? Now I'm at the point I just want to drop it.
Right.
I'm at the point now. I'll shoot on the SD card. You can keep it.
I would
You
do-
obviously pay me enough.
I would
to
do that
buy
every day
another
of the
one.
week. You know, now
Yeah.
a hot take that I have, is I think under most circumstances and scenarios, we need to get rid of charging for licensing.
Mhm.
I think that I've honestly I've never really agreed with it because I think it's crazy that you would pay me to create content and then I'm going to charge you to use the content that you paid me to create. I've always thought that was crazy. But I think we're in a time now where people are going to really start pushing back on that because it's kind of like, so I'm paying you all this money to create the content, then I want to use it to put it on a mug or I want to do this campaign, and you're like asking all these questions of how long you want to use it, and it's more money if I want to do a nationwide campaign versus a local. It's like I've already paid you to create the content. Like, how am I having to turn around and pay you to use the content that I already paid you to create?
So you get hit up to shoot a video commercial for Nike, right? A Nike commercial, sports commercial, whatever. Every time that plays, you wouldn't want anything.
It's not about what I want anything. It's about logically what makes sense to me. And it doesn't make sense to me that I would try to charge somebody based off of the potential of what they may make off of the content that they paid me to create.
Okay.
It would be different if you had a concrete way to say, Nike, you're going to make $7.2 million off of this video. I want this much of that. You have no idea how much money they're going to make.
No,
like,
agreed.
just because they're doing a campaign doesn't mean that they're going to make $1. You have no idea. So to think that people are going to be open to continuously paying you money for something that they don't even know if they'll get that money back, I just think the resistance is going to grow and grow and grow
No,
to the
I
point where
agree.
all we're doing is pushing people to AI. Because with AI, not only do I not have to pay you to create the content, but I can use it however I want. And I don't have any restrictions.
They've already done it.
Right.
Like,
So that's where I'm just saying as an industry, and so not to drag it out too long, but if you think about licensing in general, everything that we do, it all stems back to when we had a monopoly on this stuff. The reason why we were able to charge for licensing was because nobody could create the stuff that we were creating. So we were able to charge whatever we wanted because you had no other options.
Yep.
You couldn't get this any other way. You have to come through me to get this.
Yeah.
We don't live in those times anymore. So it's like our industry is still trying to stick to licensing as if we are the only player in town.
Yeah.
We are not the only player anymore.
No.
So all we're doing is pushing people to AI. Because as a consumer, as somebody that's paying us, I wouldn't want to do that. Like, that would be like you going to a restaurant and paying for your food, and then it's like, oh, so how much of that do you want to eat? it's going to be an extra $10 to eat that much of what you just paid us to make for you.
Yeah.
You would be like, I paid for the food. I'm going to do whatever I want to do with it.
Yep.
And it's like when you look at it, like nobody wants to do that. And now when you have other options, people are just going to start exercising those options. So to me, I say it out of survival for our industry, not because I don't think that there's a part of it that makes sense. I understand the premise of it, but to protect our industry, I think we got to move away from it.
I agree. I've actually never been one to license. I just play devil's advocate, but I don't license or anything.
I don't either.
I've gotten licensing deals, but it was really like an offer on the table. It was like, we could pay you this much, or we pay you this much, a little bit, a lot less with licensing.
Yeah.
And then I took the licensing deal.
Yeah. The only time I think licensing makes sense is when somebody is coming to you to use content that you've already created. You know, so if you know, let's say you did a spec ad, you reached out to a brand and they were like, yeah, this is great, we want to use it. Obviously, you would license that to use it. You got to get some sort of revenue from them using it. That makes all the sense in the world. That licensing should absolutely stay. But it's like if someone is paying you to create content,
No, you're right.
Pay what you need to be paid to create that content and then let them do whatever. Like, you still own it. You know, it's like, so for me, it's like I still own this stuff, but I let people do whatever they want to do. I don't care if you want to make money from it. I don't care if you want to put the picture on a mug. I don't care if you want to put the picture on a billboard. I don't care. Do whatever you want to do with it. Make your money, because if you make money off of it, you'll just bring me back and create more stuff for you.
Yeah.
Which I would rather it be that than, oh, well, okay, it's going to be $1,000 for you to use it. They don't recoup that. The campaign was a failure. They don't want to bring me back now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So to me, it just doesn't make sense. I don't agree with it. If the budget is there, sure. You know, if you're doing a Nike campaign and you know they got the money, that's fine.
Yep.
But most people in our industry, like, we're not doing, you know, big $100,000 ad campaigns. We're doing regular stuff, and we're trying to charge small businesses licensing fees to use content that they created for us.
No, I expect so. I feel like, well, I went through a whole licensing thing recently where I took pictures for an NBA player, right? He was wearing clothes, right? Took pictures, he posted to his Instagram. Obviously, I got paid from him. Cool. Well, the brand of the clothes, they reposted it on their page, which I was cool with, right? Like, they reshared it, they screenshotted it, posted it, like, oh, he's wearing our clothes. Cool, I don't care about that. I only cared when I was scrolling through my Instagram stories. Then the ads that were popping up for that clothing brand was my photos. Because now I'm like, okay, you guys took a reshare and now you're using that for your marketing. And I just hit them up personally. I was like, hey, like, these are my photos, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously I'm not looking for, I care about a tag, but like, I didn't know what to expect. I was like, bring to your attention, like, hey, these are my photos. I don't care if you guys are reposting it, but the fact that now it's part of your ad campaign.
Sure.
I didn't get paid from you guys. Didn't pay for him for those. Oops. You guys didn't pay him for those. You guys didn't pay me for those. You guys kind of stole my content. You know what I mean? And so we worked it out. They ended up paying me a little something and gave me some free clothes. And I was like,
but see, that makes sense, and that falls into the scenario that I just gave where it makes sense, right? Like, they didn't pay you to create that content. They're using it. So yes, they do need to pay you something to get a license to use that. Because the thing is, you know, if I have a client and I license them to use it, one of the restrictions that I have, really the only restriction that I have, is that because I own it, you can't transfer or sell this license. So you can do whatever you need to do with it, but you don't have any authorization to give somebody else the approval to be able to use it. Like, they would need to come to me, and then we would have to work out a licensing. And I will always say that makes sense. That's the only situation that I think makes sense. You know, to me, outside of that, I'm not going to charge my client money to use what they've already paid me to create. I'm just not going to do it.
I didn't charge. I mean, I charged him for the day of shooting or whatever, but when he posted it, I could care less. But it was only, and I didn't even care, like I said, that they reposted it. I only care when I was like, "What's an Instagram ad? Hold on, wait a minute now." Like, y'all, that's too far.
I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah. But we about 45-minute mark. That's
already?
Already.
Just off of that one topic. Okay.
So
you got something else?
You go ahead.
Okay. So And I was actually going to talk about this last week, but we didn't get around to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to know your thoughts on this because I actually kind of flip flopped a little bit. And so
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to see where you're at. Now, people always talk about supporting your friends, supporting people, liking posts, commenting, sharing posts, and things like that. And I'm always seeing reels where people are talking about, I'm about to clean house. If I go and see that you haven't been supporting me, I'm removing you as a follower, because, if you're just looking at my stuff and not supporting, I don't want you around. And my initial stance, up until probably like a couple months ago, my initial stance was like, why do y'all care so much? It's like at the end of the day, I've never wanted fake support. Like, I don't want you to just like something just because you think that it's supporting me, because I don't find that to be true support.
Mm-hmm.
I did kind of have an about face when I had somebody in a group chat had sent me a reel. It was a Chris Brown Usher thing, and I went to it, and there were people that I followed and people that follow me that were commenting on this post. So it did kind of put it into perspective to me, where it's like you're commenting on a post that like like Chris Brown is not going to see your comment,
Mm-hmm.
but you'll comment on that. You'll like and comment on that post, but you won't like and comment like
Well,
your friend
your
that is
friend's
starting a
post.
business and things like that. So I was like, I understand where y'all coming from. So that's where I'm at now. I get that perspective. My question for you is, how realistic do you think that is to
So
support
your
people?
friends.
I'm gonna go ahead and give you my thoughts so that way because otherwise
Mm-hmm.
it's too open and you can't really do it. My whole thing is, if you follow 2,000 people, is it realistic to think that you would be able to support? Let me not say you follow 2,000 people because they may not all be your friends. Let's say you have 150 people on there that you consider friends,
Mm-hmm.
that they're in your city, you have whatever. Do you think it's realistic that you would be able to like and comment and share posts of 150 people, and all of
No,
these people are posting on a consistent basis? It's not
no.
like these are people that are posting once a month. You're having somebody that may be posting something, especially if they're starting a business or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
they're posting every day.
Yeah.
Do you think it's realistic that you would be able to like
No,
and comment and share 150 people's posts every single day?
I don't think so, honestly, and I don't expect people to do the same for me either when I'm saying this. I would say when I started the podcast, my biggest thing was I didn't want to promote it too much on my personal page. I let people know what I'm doing,
Mm-hmm.
and then here's the page. You know what I'm saying? Now I don't post it at all because any new follower, I want people to follow because that's what they
Right.
genuinely vibe with. You
Right.
feel me? And people reshare, comment, like whatever. Those are the people that I'm worried about. Now my closest people to me, I don't look at nobody differently. Like, oh, you don't support my page or you don't like, comment, because the whole time I'm not even on enough to be liking, commenting on all
Right.
your stuff either.
Right.
So I think it's weird when people say that because it's like, how entitled are you to feel like everybody around you needs to help you out? Now it's a difference, I would say, if you have your page, you're starting your business, and you hit me up personally and
Sure.
say, hey, either can you pull up to my event? Hey, can you reshare this for me, please? Because I'm trying to promote this event. Can you? That's when it's like, now if I say no or if you say no, then it's like, okay, I get it. You're just not supporting.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, no problem. But if I'm just doing my day to day posting and nobody wants to reshare it, I could care less.
Yeah. See, so I'm gonna touch on that point
Yeah.
because I have a thought on that. But the part where it's a struggle for me when I see stuff like that is when I go on Instagram, I literally go on Instagram to do something,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if I'm gonna post a story, I will literally go on Instagram to post the story, and then I get off of Instagram.
Yeah.
If I'm doing a post, I will go on Instagram to do the post, and then I'm off of Instagram.
Facts.
So a lot of times I don't see people's content. It's not that I don't want to support people,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm just not on Instagram like that. Like I'm
Yeah.
not on there for hours every day just scrolling, seeing stuff. I'm certainly not going to specifically go to 100 people's pages to, see what they
Yeah.
posted to like. So it's like when I see that, I'm like, there's people out there that may think, oh, Anthony, don't be supporting me. But the reality is, I don't see your stuff because I'm not on Instagram
No,
like
I feel
that. You
that.
feel me? Like I'm just on there to do what I need to do for my page,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm off of there.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm just like, that's not fair to be like, well, if I go and check and you haven't really been engaging
Yeah.
with my stuff, I'm gonna remove you as a follower because you're not supporting me. And it's like, you're assuming that everybody is on Instagram as much as you are,
Yeah.
or you're assuming that anytime someone goes on Instagram, they're gonna see
See.
what you just posted,
Yep.
And we know that's not the case. People
No.
complain all the time about not seeing posts from people they follow.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie. I just said, if you hit me up personally, ask me to share it. I mean real personal. I'm not talking about share your post to everybody on your follow, like that you follow, and then send out the same message, because that's the way you get. Actually, I blocked somebody for doing that the other day.
Yeah.
I looked at it, I was like,
So I'm glad you said that, because the
that.
point that I have to that, the reason why, so I tell people all the time, you never see me share people's stuff, because if it's not something that I'm involved with to where I can put my name on it, I'm not going to share it. And that's not, it's not because I don't think you as a person is doing something good, or that your event isn't good, or your product isn't good, or your service isn't good. It's just, if I share it, I am basically saying I endorse whatever this is.
Yep.
There may be people that follow me that will partake in your event or buy your product or your service because I posted it. And these people trust my word enough to say, well, if he posted it, it must be good.
Yep.
So for me, and it might be because we're entrepreneurs, we might look at it a little different. I don't want to endorse something if I don't really know anything about it. Like, I could be cool with you. We're acquaintances. And most of the time, most people that I know in this city, respectfully, we're acquaintances. We're not friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, I reserve that word for people that I truly have that relationship with. So it's like, if we're just acquaintances and you're throwing an event, I don't know anything about your event. I don't know how you run your events. I don't know who's going to be at your event.
Yeah.
I'm not going to endorse that. Like, I'm not going to share that because I don't know anything about it. So I can't put my name on it.
Yeah.
So that's where it's like, I just don't share anything, because like, I don't want there to be this friction where it's like, oh, well, you shared his stuff, but you didn't share. Like, I don't even want to have to deal with that. So I just don't share anything.
I'm the same way.
And it's like, hey, if you feel negatively, then it is what it is.
I'm the
You
same
know,
way.
it is what it is. And if you want to remove me, if you want to not associate with me, do what you feel like you need to do. But it's like, I just don't blindly endorse things, because it's like, I need to know what it is.
Yeah, if I'm ever sharing anything on my timeline to my story, most of the time it's either going to be a camera update, something that is probably most likely going to be coming from Panasonic. That's all I follow. I don't care about the other brands with their updates, 'cause I don't care.
Yep.
Or sports. You know what I'm saying? Like, I follow sports. My team's got a new player. We got Klay Thompson. I'm excited. I shared it, right? Now, on the flip side of that, when I'm on the podcast page, when I check that, then I see your content that you're making. So then I'm like, oh, let me go ahead and share bro stuff. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate you.
But it's not like, whenever I see it, I honestly just
But
reshare
the thing is, that's in line with the page.
Of course,
you know what I'm saying? Like, it makes sense to share that, because if somebody is following a podcast page, you're sharing podcast type content.
Yeah.
So it's like in line.
Yeah.
But even though, like, okay, my Talk Light page is kind of a photography page,
But
I'm not just going to share anything, because it's just like, well, like, my page isn't events. Like, you never see me throwing an event. You don't see anything posted on that page. I don't post anything on it, So it's like, I don't want to spam people, because like, people follow you for a reason. So if I am going to share something, it has to at least be in line with what my page already puts out there, because that's what people subscribe to me to see. So it's like, I don't want to be, it's kind of like, if you're getting thrown ads that you feel like are irrelevant, that becomes annoying, and then you mute people, or you block people, or you remove yourself, because you're like, I didn't follow you to see this type of content. Like, I followed you for this. I'm okay seeing this. I don't want to see all that other stuff. So it's like, I don't want to alienate the people that were gracious enough to say, let me follow you. Like, I want to make sure I'm giving them what they follow me for.
Which is why I really don't post the clips at all. Like, I don't collab with myself or anything on these clips, because of the fact that that's that page.
Right.
People who follow me from my main page will go to that page and go like
that was the reason why I started. I did my All Things Talk Life, because I was like, sometimes I just want to talk about stuff, but that's not the audience that I built.
I worry about this person
on my other one. And then I'm like, I don't want to put this stuff out there. Then they won't engage with it. Then it won't get pushed anywhere anyway. So it's like, what's the point? It's like, if people are over here, it's because you wanted to see that. So I can post as much as I want, because you already know what I'm posting over here. So I can post every day and it's fine. Whereas like over on my Anthony, my Talk Life, when like those people didn't subscribe to just see me talking about shit sitting in front of a mic. So it's like, I'm not going to spam y'all. And every time I post something, I'm tagging, collabing with myself or pushing it to the story. I'm not going to do that. It just doesn't make sense. So it's like, if I wouldn't even do that for myself,
then why would I? Yeah.
You know
That's
what I mean?
how I feel about it too. But my question, my high engagement question the other day was, I just saw it today too. It was like a whole debate. Girlfriend asked her boyfriend, she's short on rent money.
Hmm.
She needs a little less than $2,000.
I mean, that's not a little short, but
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, okay, right. Um, she sends him because he said, I don't have it like that, like right now. Like she sends him a screenshot of his savings account and it says, yes, you do. He has like 20 grand or something in his savings account. He's like, that's my savings. Number one. Number two, how'd you get that screenshot? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you going through my stuff, looking at my finances? And then she was like, well, if you can't help me out with 2 grand and you have 20,000 in your account, you're not the man for me. Thoughts?
Then I'm not the man for her.
Okay.
Okay. I've for a very long time,
Mm-hmm.
I've always looked at savings is not accessible money,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you could have $50,000 in your savings account and you can have $10 in your checking account. You have $10.
Yeah.
That's always because what's the point of a savings
Mm-hmm.
if you're just going to be pulling out
Yeah.
of it all the time for this, and this? Doesn't make sense. So I have that piece of it. But I'm in a space in my life where I'm just like, if that's how you feel,
Mm-hmm.
cool. Go find that person that'll do this for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm okay losing people that would look at it that way.
Yeah.
Because I think if I'm asking you for help,
Mm-hmm.
whatever you can offer me, I'm going to be appreciative of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not going to be like, can you run me $1,000? I'll pay it back in a week. And you like, I only got 5, and I'm just like, well, fuck you then.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me.
No.
Like if I'm asking you for help, I'm just going to be appreciative of whatever because that's still 500 that I don't have to worry about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if somebody can't see it that way, then cool.
Yeah.
Like please go do your thing and go find that guy for you because clearly I'm not him and that's okay.
Yeah.
And reverse, you're not the girl for me.
Yeah. Like I hate when people like, cause I'm like the same type of guy. Like my response would be like, oh, I ain't got it. Cause I just hate giving people money. I hate loaning people money. I really do because it's just such a gray area. And unless I really know you and trust you is one thing, but even then I'm like, ugh,
Right.
Like one time, like my cousin was like, I know you got like extra money laying around. I'm like, what is extra money?
Right.
Like
right.
all my money goes towards something.
Right. Like, what's that mean?
What's extra?
What you
like,
mean? Like
I'm trying to find extra money
Right.
if that's the case.
Right.
But if I had 20,000 and my girl needed 2,000, I think it just comes down to the relationship. Are you really my girl?
Right.
Because it said girlfriend. I was like, it don't say wife on there. But my wife wouldn't have rent because we live together.
Yeah,
so
and it's I mean
yeah.
it would really depend, but I would like to think that if we had a strong enough relationship to where I would even be willing to do that,
Mm-hmm.
I would like to think that I would have already known about it. Like that would have been something
yeah.
that we would have already been having conversations and we would have been figuring out how can we
Make it work.
make this work.
Because obviously something in your life has happened to where
Right.
you had unexpected costs. And if we're locked in like that, and it's like, okay, you have unexpected costs, and we're locked in, of course, I'm going to help you out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I don't know. I just feel like it's weird.
It's absolutely circumstantial
Yeah.
because you like in situations like that, you always have to look at how did you get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as we talk about all the time, like the economy is crazy. Times are really tough right
Yeah.
now, right? So a lot of people need help.
Yeah.
So it's not the matter of you needing help. It really is more so how did you get to the point of needing help? Because if I'm going to help you with something, number one, I need to know that you have an out
Mm-hmm.
for the help that you need, right? Like if
Yeah.
it's like you're just being careless with money, well, I'm gonna give you the 2,000 for your rent this month. You're gonna need money next month, and then the month after because you're careless with your money. Or, if you're in a position where it's like, maybe your hours got cut at your job, you got
Yeah.
laid off, whatever. Where's the end?
Yeah.
How like I can help you this month,
But
but then if you still need it next month, where's that going to come from?
Yeah.
It can't be where it's just like I got 20 grand in my bank account and 6 months is going to be gone because I got to keep helping you.
Mm-hmm.
So it really is like, how did you get to that point? And is there an end to it? If it's just, man, I remember I had to take those 2 weeks off from work because I was sick and da da da. And so, I just didn't make the money that I normally make. Cool.
Yeah.
That's kind of like a one-off type situation. If we rocking with each other like that, I got you.
She just got back from a girls trip in Miami.
Yeah. See, no, like in that instance, trust and believe. I'm okay with you leaving me. Okay. Because I'm not, because here's the thing. Here's the thing that like you have to realize. When you do something for somebody, you're setting a precedence. You always got to think everything that you do for people, you're setting a precedence. Sometimes it's a little precedence, sometimes it's a large precedence, but you're always setting a precedence. So if you went and did a girls trip and you blew your rent money and I bail you out, I'm setting the precedence that I have to always bail you out when you do this sort of thing. Otherwise, like, we're going to end anyway. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to set that precedence. It really is that simple.
Yeah, I think for me, I think it's circumstantial, but I don't know. I don't like paying my own rent. I don't help you with yours personally.
Right. And that's the thing with me. It's like, I always tell people, it's like, you'll never ever see me on any platform acting like I'm balling out of control, because I'm not. Like, I am in a creative industry as a freelance, and I live in a state that's very expensive. Yeah. So you'll never see me flexing and all that stuff on Instagram. I'm never going to do it because I don't have it like that, and I'm okay with that. Like, that doesn't bother me. I don't care about that at all, and I don't need to be with somebody that it's like, oh, you got to do all of this stuff and you got to buy me bags and we got to go to these expensive dinners every week. It's like, that's not the girl for me. Like, you can go and find that guy. If that's the guy you want, I respect it. Go find him. I'm not the guy for you, and that's okay. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do well to try to maintain myself, and it's like, if I'm in a relationship, I'm going to do things, but I don't spend a lot of money on myself.
I feel that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not an extravagant spender on myself, so I'm not going to be with somebody that I got to be an extravagant spender on you, and if I'm not, then I'm not good enough for you. Like, we're not compatible, and I'm okay with that. Go find that guy. Like, that's the space that I'm in now. Yeah. Like, go find that guy then. Like, it's okay. Yeah. If I can't do it, I don't have no problem admitting that. I'm not the guy for you. Go find him. It's interesting that you still haven't found him yet. Yeah. You say, like, I want this, I want this. Why don't you have him yet? Yeah. Where's he at? Go get him.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
They're not, though.
Go get him.
They're not going to find that, man.
It's that simple. Like, why are you worried about me? Go get your guy.
Facts. But yeah, I don't know. I've been there. I've been that guy spending on the bags, spending on, because I really don't spend on myself like that. Yeah. Like, and the things I buy are so random. Yeah. Like, for myself, where it's like Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think this is what messed it up for me.
Yeah.
I've never dated a girl that was superficial. I've never dated a girl that cared about designer bags and all. Like, I've never dated a girl that, like, most of the girls that I've dated, well, first of all, because I'm older, half the girls that I've dated, social media wasn't even a thing, so that wasn't even there. My ex in LA, she didn't care about, she was foreign, you know what I'm saying? So she didn't care, like, she wasn't even on social media, she never posted, she didn't care about any of that stuff. So I've never dated somebody that, like, that was a core part of who they were. So to me, I'm like, I would want to be with somebody that wouldn't say, spend $2,000 for a bag so that I can show off, which doesn't matter at all. I would rather that person say, can we go on a trip somewhere? Can we go here and spend some time? Like, I would rather spend $2,000 to spend a week somewhere than $2,000 on a bag that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So it's like, the girls that want that, that's fine. Go find your guy. Like, I'm not that guy, and that's okay. Like, you can say whatever you want. Like, I'm fine not being that guy. I would rather be the one where it's like, let's go on a trip. Or if we're, in a very serious relationship, like, she's coming to me with a plan of how we can set money aside to have our down payment to buy a house next year. Yeah. Or, this is the type of wedding that I want. I know it's expensive. I know you don't really care about weddings. So, I'm going to set aside this much, can you match it so that way I can, like, that's the type of person that I want to be with, that it's like, they're not blowing money on dumb stuff. They're coming to it and saying, I want to do this, let's invest in something, or, I want to start a business. Can you, like, though, I want that type of, like, that's the girl for me. So I'm never going to be for these ones that it's like, let me have all this stuff to show on Instagram.
I've been with those. It's a pain. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna lie.
I wouldn't like if that. Aside from my age, it just wouldn't work for me because I don't spend that kind of money on myself.
I feel that.
Like if I was a flashy type of person, then I would have no problem doing that because like I like that's important to me. Like
Yeah.
image is important to me. So of course I would want my girl to be able to match my
Yeah.
flashiness. I've never been a flashy guy.
I've gone
Maybe
through
okay, I'll
upside
take that
down.
back. When I was in my 20s, when I was still living at home and just had money to blow,
Mm-hmm.
yes, I was going and buying fresh fits every single day.
Yeah.
I legitimately never wore anything twice because I was buying fits every single day.
That's crazy.
But that was when I was living at home. I had a very good job. I was making
Yeah.
great money, and I
Yeah.
had no bills, no responsibilities. So I had nothing else to spend my money on.
I've been both. I've been the flashy. I've been the simple,
Yep.
and that's where I'm at now. Where it's just, I can't tell you last time I bought clothes. I'm not gonna lie, it was $7 shirts. I needed black shirts, for some events that I do, and it was like black collar shirts on Amazon.
Yep.
They had dry fit collar
Yep.
shirts, $7. I bought
Yep.
like 4 of those.
Yep.
Spent
People
30
are always gonna see me in
like,
these
you know what I'm
creator
saying?
shirts, which I actually need to get a new hoodie because this one
Yeah,
I done wore this one out.
but
But I mean, I'm always gonna wear my own brand.
yeah,
Like I'm not like why would I want to wear somebody else's brand when I'm an entrepreneur? Like why would I not want to market my own stuff? I'm gonna do that every single time.
yeah,
You know, if I gotta dress up to go to something, of course I'll dress up to go to something.
yeah.
But if I'm with, if I meet a girl and she wants me to be all fly, as they say, then I'm not the guy for you.
Yeah, I'm
Because
definitely not.
I'm not going to do that because I just don't see the point. I don't, I did care about that at one point in time. That time is way behind me.
No, I feel
I'm
that.
not there. Like, I'm a simple guy. I'm going to be in sweats and a shirt as much as I possibly can
Hmm.
because that's just what's comfortable and that's just what I want to do. So that's what I'm going to do. And if you don't like it, that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, everybody need to be to that point. Everybody on Instagram arguing.
No.
It's like there's nothing to argue about. Go find what works for you. If you want a guy that's gonna pay you 10,000 a month, I saw a clip
Yeah.
where somebody was saying like, what would it take for you to stay at home?
Oh, yeah.
And she's
She
like, yeah,
said
you gotta pay me 10,000 a month. And it's
Barbie.
like
Yeah.
you're out of your mind. You're never gonna find that.
Yeah.
But if that's what you want, go find that guy.
The funny
Don't
part
worry
was-
about me. Don't try to dog me because I'm not doing it. Go
Yeah.
find the guy that since you make it seem like y'all can get it. Go get him.
I saw that clip too, and she said 5,000 wasn't enough.
Wasn't enough.
But she said 5,000, and he's paying all the bills and covering the trips.
Right.
But 5,000 a month to sit at home
Right.
and do nothing ain't enough.
Right. And it's
'Cause
like
she want to go shopping.
that's the delusion.
That's the
Because these are people that have never once in their life
she got
had
kids.
somebody doing that.
She got, like,
Never,
3 kids.
not a single time. And it's like look, the reality is, if you got 3 kids,
she do.
you're not finding anybody that's gonna do that. Because even the sugar daddies, they're not paying you 10 grand a month. Like sugar daddies will spend money on you. There's
120K a year.
definitely people out there that it's just like that's just their life. They're not paying you 10K. Like anybody that has that type of disposable income to where they can pay you 10 grand and they're doing all their stuff that they're paying for them,
They're multimillionaires.
you're just not who they're looking for.
No.
You got to live in a realistic world. You wouldn't like they're not going with somebody who's got 3 kids. Why would, if you had 10 grand to blow, like you can
Yeah.
be like, hey, baby girl, I can pay you 10 grand a month. To
10
be
grand a
honest,
month?
you have so many options at your disposal.
10 grand a month, I had 10 females.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you got that type of money
Come
that
on.
you can literally throw that around, like,
Yeah.
you're going to have the pick of the litter.
No, seriously.
So if you got the pick of the litter, and we've talked about this on another podcast, but
Yeah.
if you got the pick of the litter, no disrespect to women with kids. I'm fine dating with women with kids. Where I'm at now,
Me
that's
too.
probably best case scenario for me is to be with somebody that has kids.
Facts.
But if I got $10,000 a month that I can pay you,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to deal with the complications of someone with kids. It doesn't make sense. I can go and pick whoever I want. I'm a decent looking guy. If I'm throwing out 10K, I can have whoever I want.
Facts.
I'm not going with the one that's got 3 kids because there's a lot that comes with that. And I'm going to touch on that real quick and then we can end this. Because the reason why I say that, it's like it has nothing to do with the kids. But when you date people with kids, the hardest part, and there's a girl that I know that even her baby dad struggled with this.
Mm-hmm.
The hardest part about dating people with kids is that you can never do anything spur of the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very difficult to have alone time. And that was the issue that her baby dad had, was that he always felt like the kids were in the way, which sounded crazy because I'm like, they're your kids.
Yep.
Like, what do you mean? Like,
Yep.
they're your kids. What's the problem? But that's the hardest part about dating somebody with kids. You can never have spur of the moment. It can't be you're just sitting on the couch and you're just like, hey, can you come through and chill?
Yep.
They can't because they got kids. They got to find a babysitter. It's a whole process. You know, if you go over there, it's not going to just be you and her because she has kids.
Yep.
So for it to just be you and her, she's got to find somebody that can take the kids.
Yep.
That's the hardest part for most men to deal with, because a lot of times we either want spur of the moment or we want to be able to have time with just that person. And you just can't have that when you're dating somebody with kids.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So if I got $10,000 a month that I could basically buy someone's time, I'm not going with the one that it's like, I got to share my time with your kids.
Yeah. I agree, man. Well, on that note, this is another episode. I don't know what episode we on now, but more to come this week. I'm doing a solo.
I was literally just about to say. I was literally just about to say I have not seen no solo episode from you in a couple weeks now.
I got a solo episode coming out this week.
Okay.
Then I might have, based off that solo episode, I'll tell you off camera. Based on that solo episode, I might have another guest, and things might get a little dicey.
Oh shoot! Let's do it, man. Do it.
Might get a little dicey with how everything's running right now.
Yeah.
But it'll be like I have to figure it out. It'll be like a virtual type thing.
Man, you know, it's funny you mentioned that, because I was going to text you, I think when you was in Kansas City, I was going to hit you up and be like, man, we should just test doing a virtual just to do it. Like, not, you know, I'm still coming over here to do our stuff and kick it and stuff like that. But I just to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just to kind of have it in place so that if you need to do that,
we can.
Like you already know everything to do. You already got it all laid out, and you can just kind of bring somebody in easy.
Yep.
And we've already worked out the kinks and all that type of stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I have a virtual plan. Well, I'll talk to you off camera on that.
For
but
sure.
yeah. Anything you got to say?
Nah, man. That's that.
Well, without further ado, I'm out of here. Peace.